We're back. At the end of round 3 you should have 3 treble stitches popping out and 8 single crochet. We're going to turn our work again. And we're going to be in round 4, which is the final round with our brown for the center. So we start with a chain. We single crochet into the first stitch, which is a single crochet. There you come. There we go. Single crochet into the first stitch, and that's a single skip the treble, single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet into the next single crochet of the previous round. Oh, and I've done a double there, which is not what we want. Into the next single crochet we do a single, treble, get out of there, and another single crochet. We follow that pattern all the way to the end as we have in the previous rounds. At the end of round 4 you'll have 10 single crochet, 4 trebles, and we will tie off at the end, ready to attach our yellow and get started on some petals. Round 4. Round 5 we're ready to start our petal foundation. So you want to make sure you're on the right side, and as I said, with your fingers just pop those treble crochet bubbles through so you've got a nice textured center. Now we're casting on with a single crochet in the top of the first single crochet, single crochet into the next single crochet stitch, and we're going to chain 5, three, 4 and 5, and then slip stitch into the first chain. So you'll end up with a little loop there. As I said, these are the foundations for our petals. We're going to skip the treble, and we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, going to single crochet into the second, chain 5, slip stitch into the first chain. So you can see how this pattern's developing. We're going to follow that pattern all the way to the end. So skipping the trebles, single crochet into this single crochet spaces. The second one we do our chain of 5 with a slip stitch into the first chain as our petal foundation. At the end of this round 5 you'll have 13 single crochet and 4 petal loops. So guys, keep hooking along and I'll meet you back here ready to move on to round 6. I apologise, at the start of round 5 I should have told you to change to your normal hook size. I hope none of you have had to frog it all undone like I did. But we are going back to normal. We just wanted that centre looser so that it will sit nice and square as we finish the flower and square off with our contrast colour. So round 6 I've turned my work over, so we're on the back again. I've done a chain of 10, slip stitch into the 6th chain from the hook. I'm going to skip the first single crochet, do a treble crochet into the next, you have to excuse me, I'm a bit out of sorts tonight. Chain 1, skip the loop, treble crochet into the next single crochet space, and we're going to do a chain of 6, with a slip stitch into the first loop of the chain. So you can see we're making the foundation for the petals and how that's going to work. They're all going to sit apart, and we're going to fill them in with our crocodile stitch later. We're going to continue that pattern another 3 times. So at the end of this round we'll have 16 treble crochet and 5 petal loops, and you don't actually, my apologies, you don't slip stitch into that chain, you slip stitch around the treble crochet. That join in my wool threw me. I hate when that happens. So from here we've done a slip stitch around the treble crochet. We're going to repeat 3 times. So we're going to do a chain of 1, we're going to skip the loop, we're going to do a treble crochet, into the next, going to do a chain of 6, slip stitch around the treble, chain of 1. So you can see how it's all sitting out quite nicely. We're going to follow that exact same pattern all the way to the end. The last stitches, I'm going to skip the loop and do a treble crochet, chain 6, slip stitch into the side, and then we're finished. No, we've got 1 more treble crochet, my apologies, then we'll turn our work. So we'll have 6 treble crochet and 5 petal loops, ready to do our final row of petal foundation, row 7. I'll meet you back here when we're ready to start. Okay, we're back. We finished round 6, ready for round 7. So we're working on the right side again. All our little bubbles sticking up in the center there. Now we're going to do a chain of 6. That's going to count as our first treble crochet, and a chain of 2. We're going to skip the next loop and the next stitch, and then into the chain space, which is here between the loops, we are going to do 2 treble crochet. Oops, get out of there. So 2 treble crochet into the chain space, chain of 6, and a slip stitch around the post of the last treble crochet. We're going to do another 2 treble crochet into the same chain space. repeat that 3 times. So at the end of this round we'll have 18 treble crochet and 4 petal loops. So I'll just demonstrate that once more, and then I'll let you continue on your own or go back about 3 minutes to follow along with the video. So we're going to skip the next loop, working into the chain space, 2 treble crochet. Don't be too concerned about where the loops are sitting, because you can push them back through when you're ready to work on them. Of course, they're all going to be at the front because we want that nice fan flower look on the front as a finished product. So 2 treble crochet, chain of 6, slip stitch around that last treble crochet, and then we're going to work another 2 into that chain space. Excuse me. I'm going to let you do that by yourself, and the next 2 repeats. As I said, if you want to follow along with the video, go back about 3 minutes. Otherwise, I'll meet you here at the end. Now this is our last round of foundation for the petals, so you can tie off the yellow at this point. We will of course need it later when we do our crocodile stitch around the loops that we've made, but for now we're finished with the yellow. Okay, I'm back and we are ready to start working our background. I'm using blue. I've cast on into the 4th loop of the starting chain on the right hand side. Make sure you are working on the right side of your square, as in the bubbles are up, the side that you'll be displaying in whatever you choose to use your square for. So I've cast on with a single crochet. I'm going to do another 3 into that chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the top of that first treble, and a chain of 2 to skip the loop. We're going to go in, so we're skipping the loop and the stitches attached to it. Next available stitch gets a half double crochet. And we're going to work into the chain space with 3 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. I just did a double, little on camera frogging. It's 3 half double crochet. Start again. 1, 2, 3. We're going to finish that chain space off with a double crochet, not a treble. We're going to chain 2, skip the next stitches and the loop that's attached to them. Going to do a treble crochet into the top of the next available treble. And then we're working into the chain space. was caught. That's the easiest way to find your chain space. There'll be a little loop at the front. So working into that chain space, we're going to do 2 treble crochet, so 2 treble crochet, a chain, a double treble, see it's a little bigger, another chain, and another 2 treble crochet. That will be our corner. So our brown center will be the first corner, this will be our second, the edges will be our third and fourth. And 2 treble crochet to finish off that chain space. We're going to chain 2 and skip the loop and the stitches attached to it, going into the next available space with a double crochet, then working into the chain space we're going to do a double crochet and 3 half double crochet. One, 2, 3, chain of 2, and skipping the next stitches. Then we're going to do a single crochet into the next available space. And you can just pop those loops through, because we will want them all sitting nicely on the front when we fill them in with our lovely crocodile stitch. We're going to finish this row off by doing 3 single crochet into the last chain space, and then we're ready to turn our work and get on to row 9. So 3 single crochet, that tail, get out, come and mess up the front, 2, 3, and we're ready to turn our work and get started on row 10. Row 9, my apologies. I like to do the chain first, so we're going to do 1 chain to turn, turning over to the back, and you can start seeing that it is a square. Oh, it's always exciting for me when that happens. We're going to single crochet 3 into the chain space, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. And I have missed stitches. So we've got, that's how I've missed stitches. One, 2, and 3 finished our last row. Chain of 1, and we're working into those little stitches, which I couldn't see behind my wool. So we're going to single crochet into the first, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together for the next 2. So that's it's a bit tricky to show you here. Okay, you can see the 2 stitches there, into the front of the first, up through the back of the second, loop over, pull through them both, and then finish a single crochet, and that's a decreasing stitch, single crochet 2 together. We're going to do 2 single crochet into the chain space, which is here. One and 2, and then we're going to single crochet 5 into the next 5 stitches of the previous round. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The remaining stitch there gets a half double crochet, working into the chain space with 2 half double crochet, now we're back to working into the top of stitches. We've got a half double crochet in the first, 2 double crochet into the next, 1 and 2. We're going to skip the chain, remember there was only 1. We've got our double treble here as our corner. We're going to work 2 double crochet into the top of that space, 1, 2, a treble crochet also into the same space, at the top of that double treble crochet of the previous round, and we're going to finish off the corner with another 2 double crochet into the top of that stitch, 1 and 2. My square isn't being very cooperative. You can see why we had to do the first section so loosely, because it is all pulling in tightly as we work the background anyway. So we're going to do that exact same pattern in reverse to finish the second side. So we skip the chain space. We've got 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, a half double, 2 half double, 3 half double, sorry, into the chain space, 1, 2 and 3, and we go a half double crochet into the next stitch, 5 single crochet, two single crochet into the chain space, then we've got the 3 at the start, so we're going to do a single crochet 2 together in the front of the first, back of the second, loop over, pull it through everything, and then finish our single crochet. And our last stitch of the row is in our last spaces of the row we've got 3 single crochet, 1, 2 1/2 inch space. I'm going to turn over now. We've got 2 more rows to finish off our background. So we're going to do a chain of 3, which will count as our first double crochet for this row. Turn over, so we're back on the right side again. You can see how it is bunching up. Just give me one moment, I'll be right back. Okay, chain of 3, which will count as our first double crochet. We're skipping the first stitch, double crochets all the way across in the corner. So right in the top of that treble crochet, we're going to do 2 double crochet, a treble, and 2 double crochet again to keep it nice and tight. Quite sure that you guys have got all of those double crochets. I will meet you at the end of this round so that we can do our final background colour. So we're skipping the first because we've done our chain of 3. We're just working double crochet all the way across to the corner. The treble crochet of the previous round will have 2 double crochet, a treble crochet, and another 2 double crochet worked into it. We'll work all the way to the end of the other side with our double crochet. One more round after this for the background, and then we can begin filling our petals in and getting this square to sit a little bit more square. See you shortly. Okay, we're back. We finished our double crochet. We are looking nice and square now. As I said, this will probably need to be blocked anyway. You can see where the center of that square is and how it's all going to sit. The petals will help it sit out a little bit better. For our last row, we're going to turn our work again. We're going to work single crochets all the way across. Our corner space will be just a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. So I know you guys have got this. Single crochet all the way across to the corner. Corner stitch has a single, a half double, and a single. So keeping it nice and easy. The chain of 1 at the start there will serve as our first single, so we can work straight into the second and finish off the blue. I'll see you back here when you're finished so that we can begin working the petals. And I am going to just work them once or maybe twice and then let you guys follow the exact same pattern or rewind and follow along with the video, because we are getting quite a big video at this point. As beautiful as this square is, it is a little bit different in the way it works up. So I'll see you all back here shortly. We're back and ready to work our second row of petals. Obviously we've got little tails. They'll poke through pretty easily in spaces behind our petals. I've just attached into the first loop with a slip stitch, chaining 4, and I'm slip stitching that to the edge. For the purpose of trying to get the petal to sit in the right place and nice and flat. I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch into the closest chain to the hook. So the chain we just made, do a slip stitch to work our way back, and we're back to the loop that will form the petal. To work that one, we're going to treble crochet, and then 5 double crochet. So we want our petal to sit off to the center of this one. I'm just going to do a chain of 1, so we get the nice point, and then I'm going to slip stitch it into the background right near the edge. Then we've got 5 double crochet, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is definitely a square that will require blocking. So when you are slip stitching to sort of pin your petals into place, just think about how you want them to sit after that. So 5 double crochet and a treble. And then just going to slip stitch single crochet in around the stitches from the previous round to move over to our next loop, just as we did in the previous round. So they're all trebles. Just going to slip stitch around them. We're at our next loop, so our next petal. So we're going to go in with a treble and 5 double, so exactly the same pattern. As I said, this square will require blocking, so just think about where you want your petals to sit before you place them. I'm aiming for the center of the petals that we've just done, just to give it that nice fanned look. But it is still going to definitely need blocking. You can see how the petals are starting to fill out that center section and get a little squarer. Keep hooking. I'll meet you back here shortly so we can do our final row of petals. At the end of this row, once again, we're tying off. Okay, lovelies, I'm back. You can see the petals are starting to fill it out. Our last row will bring it out a bit more square, and then we're ready for blocking. That petal looks a little funny. As we block, it's going to pull everything out and line it up. So we're ready to do our final row of petals. Just slip stitched into the edge, pulling up our little loop to work in from our foundation row for the petals. I'm going to do 5 double crochet into the loop. So 5 double crochet, we want our point, so we do our chain of 1, we're going to slip stitch, and we can't really use the background, I'm going to slip stitch into the base of stitches from round 7. Go. Slip stitch into the side of the last double, just so we're working from the same place, and then another 5 double crochet, slip stitching across to the next loop through the previous stitches, those stitches of the previous round rather. So exactly the same. I hope that you have found this video helpful and that you are as happy with your result as I am. Remember, don't be disheartened. It will definitely need blocking. It's just one of those squares where, regardless of how you crochet, your tension isn't going to be quite right. So just continue working and placing those stitches all the way around. Remember, if you did like the video and found it helpful, please give us a like. It helps to share the crochet love. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.